Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be sharing 4 easy crockpot recipes with you. Everything in this video was incredibly delicious, so I think you guys are really going to enjoy. If this is your first time to my channel and you like crockpot videos, then make sure to subscribe before you leave, because I've got some fall recipes coming up real soon that you don't want to miss. I also want to thank ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. With ButcherBox, you can get high quality meat delivered to your door. This includes 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, humanely raised pork that's fed only with vegetarian feed, and wild-caught seafood. ButcherBox bacon is sourced from heritage breed pigs and is uncured, nitrate-free, and sugar-free. Knowing that I'm able to get this quality of meat that I can feel good about feeding to my family is totally worth the price. Buying this quality of meat from the grocery store is close to double or triple the price in my area. If you guys haven't watched the documentary What the Health on Netflix, I highly encourage you to do so. That documentary opened my eyes to a lot of the things involving the meat we consume. So with that being said, I've been trying to buy more organic grass-fed meat, and the prices are ridiculous in the grocery store. With ButcherBox, I'm able to go online and select the box that I want, and I can have it shipped for free to my house. This box is totally worth it in my opinion. There's flexibility in your box options with 5 different boxes to choose from. They offer 4 curated boxes and then 1 custom box, which is what I like to do, so that I can choose the meats that I want to receive, and it just makes it a lot easier to meal plan. You can choose delivery frequencies and cancel at any time without penalty. The meat is frozen at peak freshness and shipped directly to your door. If you want to get started with ButcherBox, or even just have a look at their site, click that link in my description box, and keep in mind that new members will receive chicken, burgers, and hot dogs for free in their first box. Once again, thank you to ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, first up we're making slow cooker ribs with a homemade rub recipe. These are all of the spices that you'll need for that. I'll go into more detail here in a bit and share exactly what they are. I've got some minced garlic here, some barbecue sauce for when they're done, and some brown sugar for the rub. Starting with the rub, you need 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons celery seed, 1/4 cup of sweet paprika, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, and 2 tablespoons of salt, and then you just mix that all together. We're going to rub this all over the ribs. I'm going to place those into the crock pot, and then I'm going to add a little minced garlic to the tops of both. I'm just using a spoon to spread that around, and then I'm going to cook these on high for 5 hours. Something that I thought would go perfect with this is potato salad, so I'll show you guys how I do that. I have 5 russet potatoes that I'm peeling up, and then we're going to boil them for 20 to 25 minutes. And I always throw an egg in with my potatoes since I have to boil it anyways. And I don't normally do this, but we had leftover bacon and a small amount of cheddar cheese, so I'm going to grate and chop that up, and then I'll add that into my potato salad. I figured it would be good and it would use these things up. So most people cut their potatoes before they boil them. However, I find that to be unnecessary because when they come out of the pot, I can just lightly mash them until they are in smaller pieces. I've heard if you cut them, they don't take as long to boil, but doing it this way, I don't mind the extra boil time because it's so easy and quick to chop them when they come out. So now I'm just going to assemble the potato salad. I'm starting by mashing the egg, and I'm going to add that into my bowl, and then I'm going to add mayo, mustard, salt, and pepper. I don't have measurements because I always just go off of how it looks and tastes. I would say probably a half a cup of mayo and 1 tablespoon of mustard, and then of course your salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to go ahead and add the bacon, but I wanted to let it chill before I add in the cheese. I didn't want the cheese to melt, so I just covered it and set it to the side for a bit, and then once it cooled off some, I added in the cheese. For the kids, I'm going to make air fryer chicken strips, and as a bonus, I decided to film it and add it into this video. So I have these chicken strips, and I coated them in egg and panko, dipping them first in the egg and then into the panko. I also added a little salt to my panko. So I'm just running these through the egg and panko and then placing them in an even layer into my air fryer basket that I sprayed with some oil. I didn't think they would stick, but just to be sure. cooked them at 400 for 8 minutes, and then I flipped them and cooked them for an additional 8 minutes. So this is what they came out like. They were so tender and juicy, but I wanted to show you guys the honey mustard recipe since I have a lot of you that ask about it. It's a really simple recipe. You just need mayo, mustard, honey, and a splash of rice wine vinegar. And technically, you don't even need the rice wine vinegar if it's just going to be a sauce. The rice wine vinegar makes it a little thinner and more like a salad dressing, which is how I'm used to making it. But if you just want it as a dipping sauce, then you can omit that. Again, this isn't something that I have measurements for, but I'm going to say there's about a half a cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and 1 tablespoon of honey, and then just a teeny splash of rice wine vinegar. I wouldn't stress about the measurements though, because you can't mess it up. You can add a little of this and that until it tastes just right to you. But I thought I'd show you the kids' plates. They requested mac and cheese with it, so that's what they're having. Our ribs are done, so I'm gonna take those out of the crock pot and spread barbecue sauce on the top, and then I'm gonna put those under the broiler for just a couple of minutes on high so they can get nice and caramelized on top. And these were the best ribs ever. We just had them with potato salad and opened up some green beans. Moving on to the next meal, I made slow cooker chicken and dumplings. There's only 4 ingredients that you need for this. I've got Knorr chicken flavor, and I'll use that to make my broth, Mary B's dumplings, a can of cream of chicken, and about 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The first thing I'm going to do is get my chicken into the crock pot and let those completely cook through. When they were done, I just shredded them with a fork and then continued on to making my broth. To add that in, I'm just following the instructions on the back of the jar. So whenever I done this, I added in 4 cups total initially, but I later added in 2 more cups. So totaling 6 cups altogether that I put into my slow cooker. The next step is to add in the dumplings. I just grabbed about 1 inch of dumplings, and since they come in long strips, I cut them down into smaller pieces. Also, a crucial thing that I forgot here is that my liquid needed to be simmering. You want it to be nice and hot whenever you add in the dumplings. And because I had just added that broth to my crock pot, it was nowhere near simmering. Therefore, my dumplings that I added in just now ended up disintegrating before they cooked. So make sure your liquid is hot before you put these in. I had to add in more once it got to a good simmer. Once your liquid is hot, you can put the dumplings and cream of chicken in and let it cook for about 30 minutes to an hour on high. In the end, it turned out just fine. It was super delicious, but I wanted to share my mistakes with you so that you would know whenever you make yours not to do the same thing. This next recipe, I'm going to make Dr. Pepper pulled pork. I've heard lots about this recipe. It seems to be pretty popular, so I wanted to give it a try and we loved it. I've got a little over 4 pounds of pork butt here. I'm going to season it with garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I've got a couple of small yellow onions here that I can throw in, and then 1 can of Diet Dr. Pepper. Most people use regular, but this is all I had and it worked just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in a crock pot liner for easy cleanup, and then I'm going to cut my onion and add that to the bottom of my slow cooker. Now I can add in my pork and get that seasoned with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to pour the entire can of Dr. Pepper all over the top. My pork butt was still a little frozen, so I'm going to cook this on high for 8 hours. When it was done, I removed it from the crock pot, leaving behind the fatty pieces, and then I just shredded it with a fork and added in some barbecue sauce. You can use whatever sauce you like and however much you like. And then we had it with fries, and we will definitely make it again. It was tender and juicy. I'm not sure what the Dr. Pepper does to it, but it was absolutely delicious. The last one I'm going to make, I've made before with a roast, is Mississippi chicken. It's the same exact as the roast recipe, except you're replacing the roast with boneless, skinless chicken breast. And normally you would use a whole stick of butter for a roast, but I'm cutting that down since my chicken is much smaller. So same thing, I'm adding my chicken to the slow cooker. I'm sprinkling it with gravy, ranch mix, and quite a bit of pepperoncinis. That really depends on how much kick you want. We like the kick and the kids don't eat it anyway, so we just make it how we like it, but you can cut down on those if you don't want a lot of spice. Cook this on high for about 3 to 4 hours, but you can do it on low for 6 to 8. We served it over mashed potatoes. It was so delicious. It had so much flavor, and I honestly think I like it better than the roast. But that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check out ButcherBox in my description and get high quality meats delivered to your door. Click that link and new members will receive chicken, burgers, and hot dogs for free in their first box. Once again, thank you to ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.